The House Intelligence Committee demanding answers by today. They want to know if there's any hard evidence to support President Trump's claim that President Obama had his phones tapped before Election Day.
First of all, is there information to be produced is one question. But more than that, we're going to have an open hearing on March 20th. We're going to be able to ask the director of the FBI, among others, is there any truth to this? Have they seen any evidence of this? They would be in a position to have to know. And I think on March 20th, if not before, we'll be able to put this to rest.
Michael Goodwin is a New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor and has written a lot about the man at the center of this, FBI Director Jim Comey. He will be in the hot seat. We believe at least part of this hearing will be public for him next week. Do you think he's enjoying being in the spotlight?
I'm afraid he does, though I'm not sure he likes the glare that he's getting lately. Look, when we look back, Shannon, one of the most remarkable things in American history will be that during the 2016 election, both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were under some kind of FBI investigation or surveillance. Lots of stories, we know about the Clinton case, for example, but lots of stories have been written, including one that's in the New York Times, which said there were wiretaps on Trump associates. So something clearly was going on. The Flynn call was intercepted. The Michael Flynn call was intercepted with a Russian ambassador. Somebody knew that Jeff Sessions had met twice with the Russian ambassador, despite his denial in this congressional confirmation. So something went on in both campaigns, led by presumably the FBI, perhaps the CIA, others in the intelligence community. I think Jim Comey has a lot of explaining to do.
Well, you think he is, if not one of the most powerful FBI directors in our history?
Well, look, I mean, just that example that he had both presidential candidates under some kind of investigation at the same time. As they're battling for the White House, they're also battling him. That's extraordinary. I call him in my piece J. Edgar Comey. He had at least, if not more power than J. Edgar Hoover. And, you know, the Hoover example, I think, is instructive, too. Hoover stayed too long. 5 presidents confessed secretly that they wanted to fire him, but were afraid to. Harry Truman accused him of blackmail, and yet wouldn't fire him. He died in office. Richard Nixon named the building after him. It's the building that Jim Comey goes to work in every day. So I do think there is a sense of these guys being above the law themselves, being unaccountable to anybody. This 10-year term, Comey said, you're stuck with me. He doesn't intend to leave. I mean, that's an incredibly brazen thing to do. And then last week, when President Trump said that he had been wiretapped, Comey apparently went around the FBI and Justice Department demanding the Justice Department issue a denial. We only know that because Comey leaked it, or someone close to Comey. Everybody had the story that Comey was furious, incredulous, he had to stand up to Trump. I mean, who rebukes the President of the United States that way, off the record, and gets away with it? That's a mighty big move, and I think there's somebody there with a lot of power that is no longer accountable.
So where do you see this matchup? If it comes to a head between President Trump and the FBI director, how does that play out? Because you mentioned J. Edgar Hoover and 5 presidents wanting to get rid of him, but being afraid, and certainly if there are hints or confirmations that you as the president or those close to you are under some type of FBI investigation, not the best time from a PR stance to be getting rid of the FBI director.
But that goes directly to the point. I mean, should a president of the United States be afraid to fire an FBI director because the FBI director will spill the beans? I mean, that's an incredible moment. I mean, talk about blackmail opportunities. Talk about unaccountable power. I mean, I think that is what's wrong with this whole situation with the FBI, where there are so many leaks about investigations that are never put on the record. Nobody is ever held accountable. Did you ever hear of an FBI agent getting fired for leaking? So all of these things, much of this is classified material that gets leaked. How do we know that Donald Trump's campaign was wiretapped, that associates were wiretapped? Only through leaks.
Very quickly, I want to play a little bit of what Speaker Ryan had to say about the president bringing up these wiretap allegations and how that has impacted this fight over health care.
Did that help or hurt?
Yeah, that wasn't really part of the healthcare marketing campaign.
Yeah, how much off course did that take you?
Like I said, this is going to be an unconventional presidency.
Quickly, how much of that has been a distraction now, the wiretap allegations?
Look, I think if I had advised President Trump, I would have said, be careful when you do this and how you do this. And I think also personalizing it about President Obama, that does, I think, raise the level. And as Paul Ryan was saying, it sucked everybody into something else than what they were supposed to be doing, including the White House. But the cat is now out of the bag. The president has made the charge, and we are about to find out, I hope, whether there was any truth to it or what exactly, I would broaden it, what exactly was the surveillance and investigation of the Trump campaign? What did it find and what did it not find?
Yeah, and as we've talked about, the words and the precision that you use is very important in discussing these cases. All right, Michael Goodwin, good to see you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in.